Hey, Men of Three Crosses. It's Justin, and this is day 5 of 30 Days of Ecclesiastes. I hope you're joining us and you're able to take in some wisdom that Solomon has to offer us here in this series. Today, we're going to be reading Ecclesiastes 2, 17 to 26. So I hated life, because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me. All of it is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. I hated all the things that I had toiled for under the sun, because I must leave them to the one who comes after me. And who knows whether that person will be wise or foolish? Yet they will have control over all the fruit of my toil, into which I have poured my effort and skill under the sun. This too is meaningless. So my heart began to despair over all my toilsome labor under the sun. For a person may labor with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, and then they must leave all they own to another who has not toiled for it. This too is meaningless and a great misfortune. What do people get for all their toil and anxious striving with which they labor under the sun? All their days their work is grief and pain. Even at night their minds do not rest. This too is meaningless. A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too I see is from the hand of God, for without him who can eat or find enjoyment? To the person who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness. But to the sinner, he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth to hand it over to the one who pleases God. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. I think sometimes we feel like we're building these things for ourselves. I spent 9 years building up the Hayward football program, and when I was done with it, I had to hand it over to someone, and whatever they did with it was theirs. I no longer had control. I'm raising my children to someday walk out of my house, and all the time I've spent instructing and teaching and disciplining and encouraging, they will go on to do what they do. Solomon's right. And yet, listen to what he says here. To the one who pleases God, they will be given wisdom and knowledge and happiness. Isn't that what we want? And if that's what we want, then why do we spend so much time doing this next thing, the task of gathering and storing up wealth, just to hand it over to someone else? Don't live meaninglessly. Live for the Lord.